Filipino and Filipino-American culture is ever expanding as time moves forward. Culture is comprised of so many different components which make the definition differ from person to person. My name is Alyssa-Raye, and I'm running to be one of your 2022 to 2023 Cooperative Cultural Affairs Coordinators. Growing up in a predominantly Filipino community meant growing up comparing myself to others who identified as Filipino. I was surrounded by full Filipinos who were fluent in Tagalog and were considered cultural. I, on the other hand, was born mixed, cannot speak or understand Tagalog, or any other dialects for that matter, and was made fun of for being whitewashed. I felt like an outsider to my own culture. I was too afraid to celebrate Filipino wins on social media because I didn't want to be seen as a bandwagoner who only supports the culture when something favorable happens. I felt like people would say I wasn't qualified to celebrate because I wasn't Filipino enough. This caused me to have major imposter syndrome. But now I ask myself the question, how can one be an imposter to their own culture? After growth and deliberation, I understand that culture is not a quantifiable amount of something you can have. If elected, I plan to work with my co to create educational reports, fun videos, and have transparent conversations about culture during and outside of GBMs. I want to spread knowledge about Filipino history, as well as add a focus on current Filipino-American trends, pop culture, and values. I'm a firm believer that culture is divergent and is constantly changing. Every generation adds new achievements and fluid, progressive ways of thinking. Acknowledging these changes, trends, stereotypes, and values is something I believe to be very important, which is why I want to include them in the conversation if elected next year. Regarding events, I would like to focus more on Fan Jam. I believe we can make it a slightly larger event and add another dance workshop because there are so many dances in Filipino culture that are overshadowed by mainstream dances. I would also love to include a mixed character into FACN 38 because being mixed is a perspective we have yet to explore and more people share the mixed experience. If elected, I want to teach people that there is no such thing as being not Filipino enough, because Filipinos of all shapes, sizes, and backgrounds contribute to the story that future generations will be learning from. Their experiences, despite their differing backgrounds, are so important to our narrative that I want to push the idea that all Filipinos are valid and that no one should feel like an outsider to their own culture. Whether it be mixed, third gen, full, growing up in the provinces, growing up in the States, we are all Filipino, and these differences should not dictate our value. If you ask me what I believe Filipino culture to be, I would say that Filipino culture is more than just the food, parties, dances, and superstitions. Filipino culture consists of the stories that have been written about us in the past and the stories we are currently writing about ourselves, which is why I want everyone to feel like they belong in their culture, because the narrative that we're creating includes everyone. Thank you.